Oh, yeah, welcome. Happy New Year's Eve, my friends. It's only 7:30 Eastern where I am. Lots of interesting news to break today in the Jack and Lily case. It's good to see you, Sweet Tea. Happy New Year's Eve to you. And Callie. That Silver, you douchebag. Good to see you. It's been a few days since I've been live. I was up live on Shenanigans on Monday. You've probably already seen it. It's not like I'm the first one bringing or breaking this news to you today, so we're just going to focus on the things that interested me, because that's what I want to talk about. Heaven's sakes. We had lots of pizza today. Yeah, it's interesting news, and it's safe to say at this point in time, given everything that we've learned, we can come to some conclusions. However, there's two things that haven't been talked about enough that we're going to have to start getting into. Now that I heard Haley corroborate what Belinda Gray was saying about, Janie having a different dog there staying in that trailer rather than Fluffy. So there's no, where the hell is Janie's real dog? What's up, Janie? What's up with your dog, girl? Oh, there's all kinds of little things, but listen. It's not like we weren't already suspicious. It's just some really interesting little quips. There's a few things, but there's a article in the Globe and Mail. Had to go watch everybody else talk about it because here in North America they have it behind a paywall. And I'm not getting into any sort of subscription service with any of those mainstream media websites in that sense. Oh, come on and sign up with us for, 99 cents for the first 7 weeks. Then they can't wait to charge you like a ridiculous amount to read their crap. It's just such a ridiculous notion in my sense. But it was still interesting nonetheless. It was still a good article. Shitty management, I guess. It's probably a Soros-owned newspaper. Yeah, Fluffy. There's no such thing as Fluffy, Sandra. No such thing as Fluffy. Hey, Mayflower and Callie. Haley's saying it's a beige dog. Just like the one Mayflower put in my chat. The dog knew too much and started talking. I'm right here too, Helen. It says stream starting. You can't see me, I'm talking. It's just my voice, girl. But I got this thing on my leg I'm trying to fix. There we go. I'm all discombobulated. Bonjour, Esther. Good to see you. Let's see here. I'll get my best speaking voice on with you guys. You've got to see this shit. This is just off the hook. I can't believe. I guess I can when I sit back and look at it. It's just amazing to me the level of lying that's going on by way of Daniel and Janie and everybody else around there, including you, Derwood. Derwood, why are you threatening Haley Ferdinand that she better not do any talking? Why would you be out there trying to intimidate women? What a scumbag you are, bro. That's who you're sticking up for, Jordan? Come on. Even you know better than that. I don't trust anything that comes their way. They've got a lot more to do with this than what they lead on. That's a conversation for another day, perhaps. Let's see. The Globe previously reported on troubling issues inside Jack and Lily's home, including admitted rug abuse by their stepfather. Multiple black eyes on the children, controlling behavior that affected their mother, and other pressures brought on by the parents' financial struggles. So it sounds, usually I don't worry too much about the terms, but this article is a lot different. This update that was released yesterday, or just some hours ago, I can't remember, 10 hours ago, doesn't matter. It's of a different tone. The Globe's reporting also revealed that a provincial child protection social worker had visited the children's home to investigate a report of suspected ABUSE and neglect. Well, that clears a lot up. Has nothing to do with this claim of autism. We know that. The fact that they're acknowledging that in the newspaper as a fact is extremely telling at this point in time. What do you mean, Ginger Snap? Who thinks the Globe is close to the RCMP? Well, it's just another... Listen, the RCMP utilize the media in that sense. It's just another corporate media agency here in Canada. Staff Sergeant McMahon said the police interviewed the social worker involved with Jack and Lily and others with valuable information about the children's circumstances. Their teacher, what an interesting interview that would have been. The Globe previously reported on troubling issues inside Jack and Lily's home. Yeah, loosely. They want to claim here that they were the first. Yeah, sure you were. You weren't the first, but I don't remember them ever coming out and actually saying, we'll have to worry about that at a later time. It doesn't matter. But the fact that they want to come out and treat it like they're the first in this circumstance only tells you their level of scumbaggery over there at the Globe and Mail. But we'll let them have it. Thank you very much, Sweet Tea. Always love to hang out and chop it up with you, AB. Oh, me too, Sweet Tea. That's very generous of you, darling. We certainly appreciate that. Oh, well, don't mind us crummy YouTubers. Fuck, this will really piss Earl off. Earl, what the hell is going on over there at your ex-wife's house? What's up with that? What's up with your ex-wife, Earl? What's up with this Derwood O'Grady, this Darren Geddes? Is he a friend of yours, Earl? I wonder what the attachment is. I wonder what the hook, the bond between them all. Should make a new t-shirt. Kent, you need to get on the printing press, on the silk screen. Fuck, is that interesting? It goes on to say here, both parents explained the children's sudden disappearance the same way. Very interesting statement right there. I'm impressed. Both parents explained the children's sudden disappearance the same way. To a fault. And then they walked it back right away. in their different ways. You could reword that. It would probably be better. Both parents explain their children's sudden disappearance the same way. Oh, we were drifting in and out of sleep. We were drifting in and out of sleep. You know how you do in the middle of the day. And immediately, what does she say? She prioritizes herself. She says, we're not the type of parents to not be outside, or whatever she was trying to get across there, but it doesn't matter. She prioritized herself in order to what? Lie to us. Contradicting what's just occurred. We don't know what's happened. We're not these types of parents. Whatever type of parent that you're thinking, we're not. A little early for all of that. Well, we're not that type of parents. How many more compulsive fucking liars are associated with this case? Shout out goes out to, by the way, a little pat on my own back. I'm going to pat my back right now. Because months ago, and I can go and prove this, months ago, I went out of my way, my royal way, to go and send a message to, guess who? Haley Ferdinand. And I said, I didn't even want anything. I just said to Haley, I said, hey, I want you to know that I appreciate what it is that you did at the end of that driveway, girlfriend. It's nice to see somebody out there standing on business when it comes to Jack and Lily. And that's it. I haven't even looked since, but I know that she got it. That was way before any of all of this. So I already knew that she was okay. So it still stands. Both parents explain that to children's sudden disappearance the same way. The kids must have put on their boots. Yeah. Let's focus in on this for a second. They explained the children's sudden disappearance in the same way, and this is paraphrasing for them on their behalf. The kids must have put on their boots, opened the sliding glass door, and left the fenced-in backyard. All by themselves, 10 feet away from everybody. Paper-thin walls in that old shitty ramshackle trailer. There's a whole lot more that we don't know yet about the reasons why, one, the old bitch Janie had to move on out there to that trailer in the first place. She volunteered the information that really it was because that she didn't like the children or Malaya. But there's probably a lot more she's protecting there. She was probably out there raking up all of the dog shit from a huge dog twice the size of old Fluffy there. Tucker. The beige dog. I wonder if that has more to do with why the fences are up in the first place. The old nasty beast. The kids must have put on their boots. Opened the sliding glass door. They must have. They must have. So really, you're trying to blame the kids for all of this. That's the easiest from their perspective. Fucking hell. So it was the kids' fault in the first place, no matter what happened. You see the pattern that's developing already with these two? So at what point do you become sad and affected? According to Haley, Malaya isn't affected at all. Seemingly. I don't drink silver gold. I'm not like you. Or Malaya. Malaya's up on the vodka, I hear. The three adults who live on the property, including the children's step-grandmother, that bitch Janie McKenzie, told police they heard the children playing in the morning before they disappeared. They heard. They didn't see. They didn't visually identify the children out there, interact with them. Nobody interacted with these kids out of their own mouths since the night before, earlier on in the evening, and they just can't quite touch base on it, on what time was what. In the days and weeks that followed, the Mounties oversaw one of the largest searches in the province's history. Dozens of search and rescue teams, police dogs, say it again, Daniel, a helicopter and drones scoured the thickly wooded area around the trailer for more than 12,000 hours. Wow, that really impressed Daniel. All of it had to do with his innocence, according to him. They reviewed thousands of surveillance videos, and human remains detection dogs poured over 40 kilometers of land. In late fall, the children's stepfather, Mr. Martell. See how they're referring to him in this? Mr. Martell. Oh, that's different. Why wasn't it Mrs. Mackenzie? See where this is going already? See how the tides of turning in the way that they're referring to old Danny boy, old spastic, old I do the mathematics on a daily basis and it doesn't affect me. Done it for years. In late fall, the children's stepfather, before they were just referring to him as family across the board. Yeah. In late fall, the children's stepfather, very analytical there, Mr. Martell, said he doesn't believe the children wandered into the woods anymore, suggesting that he did at one time. Not anymore, though, because of the extensive search. Oh, yeah, it's because of them I don't believe it anymore. You see where that went real quick? The temperature is changing. One moment, please. Let me check my microphone level. Okay, I'm here. In late fall, the children's stepfather, Mr. Martell. Oh my God. You know that sounds like a cop, dude. Mr. Martell said he doesn't believe the children wandered into the woods anymore. I don't believe that anymore. You know, like I was just leading you all to believe just a moment ago. I don't believe that anymore. This isn't looking good for you. This is because of the extensive search. Also, you didn't really hear Lily off in the distance screaming? What a fucking douche. I don't believe for a second about this latest Derwood claim about him having a disagreement with Janie in the driveway about anything in that regard. It's not the way that he was pushing it. I don't believe it anymore. Especially after I talked to Jordan in that sense. It's not anything that he said in particular. It was how he was saying it. The cadence in their voice, Jordan's and Darren's, are the exact same, and they bullshit in the exact same manner. And you can't really get a word in edgewise. It's not like you two are connecting and trying to clarify anything. It's all this scripted, rehearsed bullshit in a sense, coming one way. It's a one-way conversation, and it's usually by way of Jordan. But Derwood does the exact same thing. It's not like they had to answer anything in particular. But the need and the need in that moment, no matter what you're doing, would suggest that you're fabricating. You're pushing a certain narrative in that sense. Then they come out with this other random rug dealer of Daniel's. By the way, we learned from Haley Ferdinand that Daniel's math dealer is old. What's his name that he went and picked up Saturday? His one buddy's name? I can't remember it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Somebody in my chat will help me out. Excuse me. Chance Lay's. Thank you, Kelly. Lay's potato chips. I'm having some Doritos up there. Yeah, Chance. So he had his drug dealer. Out there, and Jordan says that they're trying to think up all kinds of new things about who could be involved in this with all sorts of dangerous people around there. Like, get the fuck real. Get out of here. Don't even come to me with that shit. So, you know it's bullshit. Whatever they're doing back there, they don't want to talk about it. And they're all on the same level. I learned that after I talked to them. Now everything started to make a little bit more sense. Anyway. Not that it changes anything. It really goes back and feeds into the question as to what and why Derwood is involved in the first place. Why? Why is it you're out here lying so overtly to people? More so intimidating strangers, trying to silence them, censor them, stifle them. Why? We're going to find out. We're going to find out. When and who taught Lily that screaming? What screaming? What screaming are you talking about? Usually it's natural, especially for little girls. Or people like Kent or Derwood to when they're younger. They would have screamed like little bitches too. Oh, cold water. Oh, a bug. It's just natural. Fight or flight. I would expect. $10,000 big ones. You send him a Digisilver. He only does things around the $1,500 mark. You have to make it affordable for all of the other fucking tweakers around there. Probably all tweakers, to be honest with you. Eat them all. In the late fall, the children's stepfather, Mr. Martell, said he doesn't believe the children wandered into the woods anymore. Contemptuous. This article is contemptuous towards Daniel in that sense. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling some sort of attitude. Maybe it's just the way I'm reading it. Just kidding. No, but there is some contempt here, Mr. Martell. Oh, all of a sudden it goes from Janie. Why didn't you refer to Janie as Mrs. Mackenzie just a paragraph before? I wonder. Because you're going to be getting to start to hear that term, Mr. Martell, and it's not out of respect. It's just how it's going to be phrased in the legal paperwork going forward, especially leading up to the preliminaries, preliminary hearing. Anybody ever read about Chance and why he did when he got arrested? Effing sociopath? No, Cool J. What's going on? What are you saying? Yeah, spill the tea in my chat. Let me know. He said he is no longer he said he also no longer suspects that Mrs. Brooks Murray, who ended their relationship shortly after Jack and Lily disappeared, was involved in the abduction or of her own children, a theory he had suggested. You're really giving away everything right there. Well, Daniel has all the suggestions in the beginning and then changes his mind. So really, he's not come forward with a good alibi in that sense, or a good story leading up to why they called the RCMP in the first place. Probably why he was avoiding them and all that point in time to begin with. Cool J threatened to stab his girlfriend's father or some stuff. Oh yeah, that's pretty classy. That's fairly romantic. They need to let the boys on the range know Daniel's a child beater. Think about what you're saying there, Mr. Hemi. We go far beyond that in this circumstance. He's already past that point. Everybody in your community knows that you harm children in that sense, Daniel. This is what got you triggered in the first place, isn't it? It's probably how this all began. What did Malaya start standing up for herself? Goes on to say both parents have repeatedly denied any involvement in Jack and Lily's disappearance. And court documents show that they both underwent polygraph tests that found that they were truthful around 4 questions that were not publicly disclosed. We know enough about sociopaths. No new searches for the children are planned, but Staff Sergeant McMahon said police are reviewing the search areas to ensure that they haven't missed anything. Especially the trailer. They've got that trailer so bugged out. Probably listening to all kinds of things through their devices, TVs. Says if we identify areas that we feel would be of benefit to do some more searching, we will, he said. Without answers, social media and online content creators have more than filled the void, sometimes mashing facts with misinformation and speculation, probably share from Voices Behind the Wall. While these online communities help keep the case in the public eye, Staff Sergeant McMahon said they can also hamper the investigation. It takes investigators time and resources to look into tips garnered from what in some cases have turned out to be just a comment made on social media, he said. Shout out, special shout out. You got to take him where you can. Staff Sergeant McMahon said he understands the urgent need for answers about what happened to Jack and Lily, but cautioned that intensive major crime investigations take time due to things like these investigations take time to do things by the book and according to the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Well, that's your problem. We all have to consider whether charges will be laid eventually. We have to consider whether charges will be laid eventually. That's almost a double positive if there is such a thing. Oh, shit. We have to consider So what is he saying there? He's he's giving us too much. He's over-explaining, but in this sense, he's so positive he can't stop but like give us even more information about what the future holds for this case. We have to consider, friends, we're at that time. We need to start considering, like you have to start considering the storm coming down the way, you know, the cyclone, the hurricane, the tornado that's just miles away. You're going to have to consider what you're going to do. That time is coming. And then he wants to go on to use the term eventually. You know what this is? It's stinking of there being so many charges that they're going to be laying. It takes so much time for each one of those charges to be plugged in and written out and explained. Not to even mention investigated. So we're patient, but, let's not lose sight. He says we won't stop until we have answers as to what happened with Jack and Lily. Happy New Year, Deb. That was a fantastic message. Especially Sergeant McMahon, who chooses his words very carefully. He chooses his words. And here we have a situation, this is my opinion, here we have a situation in such a plain sentence. He's really hinting to you all what's happening, what's coming, and what to be expected. In a way that they're not going to be able to come back and use against him in court in any way. We have to consider whether charges will be laid eventually. So we have to maintain the rule of law and follow the rules that are there. It does take time, and it is going to take some more time. I want to see if I can capture a couple of these voice messages. These voice messages from Haley Ferdinand to Sonny Austin at It's a Criming Shame. They were never meant to get out, but Drunk Turkey allegedly put these on blast and used them. And it turned out that Haley wanted to update how she felt. Not that it was contradictory, but she wanted to explain these messages on It's a Criming Shame earlier today, so make sure that you go check that out. There's just a couple that I want to talk about here. You can go check out the rest. Now hold on one sec. I'm just going to steal them. You hear that, Kent? I'm going to steal them from over at Shannon's live stream. Yeah, Shannon and Nova's Inquest were doing a live a little bit earlier today. I'll do this. What's that like?
But you can tell, like, she's very balanced, good head on her shoulders. And these comments are made in moments of devastation.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was during a sensitive time when everyone was trying to find answers. There was a lot of inner
Vulnerable.
turmoil within the family, and a lot of pressure being put on lots of family members. And
I kind of asked what was going on. So
on this first one.
So 1 second.
On this first one, and this one's sort of like the harshest one, so we might as well just band-aid it and rip it off.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
But yes.
Okay. So load it up. Let me put my my earmuffs or my headset on. Let me put my headset on so I can hear these even more clearly than my super hearing. I don't want to miss a beat.
I'll play that one next. Sorry. You still with me there, Haley? Just to make sure. Just to make sure.
Yep, I'm here.
Yes, I'm here too.
So 1 second. Let me just.
We've got your son too. Sweet Tea's in here.
She was okay. So yesterday when Cindy called me, I could tell that she was really upset.
So she says, yesterday when Cindy called Haley, she could tell she was extremely upset. It's very low. I'll press play.
And I kind of asked what was going on. So Saturday night, Hayden wanted to go over to her house. She wasn't home. She was working at the hospital.
So she's talking about this past Saturday night where Hayden wanted to come over to Cindy in Wade's place, and they ended up tearing the place up, getting drunk AF, and leaving a real mess that Cindy came home and snapped over. She was losing it. That's what she's going to say here.
She's an LPN. Anyways, so Cindy said, yeah, go over home, go feed the horses, let the dogs out, whatever. So Malaya and Hayden headed over, which is fine. They both stayed the night there. Cindy got back in the morning. Malaya was gone. Hayden was passed out on the couch. There was 2 full bottles of vodka gone.
Whoa. Now listen. What size bottles and who bought them? Were those Wade's bottles? Or were they your bottles, and were they, what are bottles? Like a Mickey, a 26er, 40 pounder? Texas Mickey?
Liquor strewn across the house. Things in a disarray from Hayden and Malaya. Like, disrespectful.
From Hayden and Malaya. So you're telling me Hayden and Malaya are just in their house getting drunk by themselves and tearing it up? Like, it's funny to hear her say that in a way, but one, I don't even hold that against Malaya, even though it doesn't look very good. Nothing's going to look good. Doesn't matter what you do. That's why you should probably avoid alcohol at all costs. It's not going to help the situation. But of course, things happen in a different way, don't they? People do what they do. Maybe that's how she's dealing with her trauma at that point in time. Maybe there's more to it. I wonder what they were doing, those two, in the house. That's so bizarre. So this is what Haley came up and straightened out today, and I'm not sure exactly what she said, but something along the lines of, she explained, she was apologetic over how harsh she sounded in that sense.
Shit. Like, Cindy lost her absolute God forbid fucking mind. And no, Malaya is not one bit upset. She's walking around, prancing around like her shit don't stink. She's done up to the nines daily, makeup, full outfits. Like, is a mother my
full outfits? We know those outfits are coming from Timu, girl. Those aren't outfits, but we know what you mean. So that was her thoughts at the time. She didn't seem affected by it, and she was dolling herself up and acting, from her perspective, as though something was off. And not to mention that crazy kooky chick that she always hangs out with, she never used to be friends with. And help me out with her name again in my chat. Her other friend, her weirdo looking friend, the one that looks like a zombie. She said that she's protecting all of Malaya's communications. Cheryl, thank you, Amy. She said Cheryl's protecting all of her communications and her messages coming way, from online and Facebook and things like this. She's screening it like a public assistant, like a super simp. Like, she's got her head so far up Malaya's ass. Oh, don't worry, I can take all of your donations in my bank account. That's Cheryl. So that's Haley calling. Haley's going to be calling that out in just a second. This is the interesting shit, right? This is interesting shit.
myself if my children were missing? Somebody would physically have to drag me out of my fucking bed. I would have lost my apartment by now because I wouldn't be working, I wouldn't have an income, like I wouldn't know what to do. The only thing that's saving Malaya for money, well, is her grandmother, of course, but also the India Brook band. gave her thousands of dollars in gas cards, grocery cards, and everything. And she's literally just walking all over them. She doesn't even stay out there in the place that she has. She's either at Cheryl's or in town at Patty's.
So really, Haley's coming out and saying that Patty has a problem with alcohol and her health as well due to the substance abuse in that sense. And from Daniel and Malaya's perspective, she feels that she's probably easily taken advantage of in that sense, because she suffers from a lot of the same problems as Daniel and Malaya are voluntarily putting themselves through.
And Malaya can't even speak without Cheryl butting in or something, even the family. And like, I know Cheryl because her sister dates my brother and has kids with him.
So Haley's brother is married to Cheryl and has zombie kids with them. Oh my God. Like, what a weird little scenario here. But they're still distanced away from the situation enough at this point.
But it's a little fucking ridiculous. I was with them, I don't know, a few weeks ago. We were putting out flyers for Jack and Lily, and Malaya's phone would go off, and Cheryl would put her password in and check her phone before she got to check it. Now, tell me that's not fucking control, and why, I don't know, because Cheryl and Malaya were never really friends before. Malaya was more friends with Shelby, which is Cheryl's sister that dates my brother and has kids with.
Okay, so that will
Juicy.
be the biggest clip of information that, go ahead, if you want to say something to this one again. Yeah, it is what it is.
Been through some traumatic experiences in my life. I don't think always real thin.
I'll find the next one.
Team there the day of the search. That was fantastic.
So
Yep. And rug abusers.
yes. Yep. Let's carry on with some more clips.
So people in my chat, Firehorse 66, allegedly Chance was in court for rugs and DV. He said he could have beaten her and not just thrown a shoe at her and shove her into a wall. Oh, well, thank God you didn't do that there, Chance. He's a real winner, you say? Allegedly, in your opinion, giant dickwad? That's interesting, if it's true. Interesting. Yeah, Cheryl's sister dates Haley's brother. Yeah, I get it. M went from one controlling ass nut to another, Mariska. Yeah, that too. Right, she is in foster care, Callie. These voice messages were from months ago. And because what way back in August or something like that. And I believe the way that they told it was that douche drinking turkey put all of this on blast on his channel, and they're trying to get ahead of any sort of situation that he's portraying in that sense. I'm not sure what it is because I don't watch that stupid son of a bitch. Do I, Ken? They need to put Depro in the water supply out there. What's Depro, Mr. Hemi? I was in foster care. My fake mom told me so, that bitch. Okay. Hayden is Mrs. Half Bro. Who's Mrs.? You mean Malaya's Mayflower? Yes. Yeah, pink roses. It's still an observation. I mean, still take it into consideration. I mean, the way that Haley portrays it is that she thinks that Malaya goes in once a week. I don't know if she still believes this, but she was saying at this time that these messages came out that she was going in once a week to talk to the RCMP. I don't know whether any of it's true, and I wouldn't believe anything that Malaya actually said unless I was doing the driving for her, and she was doing her own driving the last I checked. So I'm not sure what to believe there. Mayflower, she stays at Cheryl's mostly, does she? Where does Cheryl live, in Truro? Does she stay back at Patty's as well? Yeah, he's a fucking goof. He's an ass clown. No, Hayden is Haley's brother. Oh, okay, Mayflower. Cheryl is married to Matt, and that's why... Okay. Hayden is Haley's brother. Okay. It's all fucky. That's if Malaya haven't told police, but if she has, then how has been allowed visits? What do you mean? That's if Malaya hasn't told the police, but if she has, then how's he been allowed visits? What do you mean, Daniel? Laurie? They're supervised visits. You could be the worst individual in the world and still have supervised visits. Because they're in legal purgatory in that sense. They're caught in between. They're in limbo right now until things get solved, rectified, until authorities can catch up and to get a good idea of what happened here. And while they do it, they'll be building all kinds of... Think about everything. Think about all of the crimes that you're putting yourselves through. You're being victimized by Daniel and Janie with all of their fucking bullshit. And they're traumatizing the population in that sense. Society with the level of deception. And all of the cold, calculated, self-serving, narcissistic abuse that they're putting us through. It's nonstop. You've got to be very, very... You've got to be tough. You've got to build up a callus to this sort of thing in real time. It's nasty. This is... Where's Janie's voice? I need Janie's voice.
On an old road, we went up the pipeline, Justin and I did, and we picked Daniel up on an old road. So Daniel did not use the bike. The only time he was on the bike is when we picked him up on the road. And believe me, it's my four-wheeler, and believe me, I don't let Daniel drive my four-wheeler, believe me.
Yeah, I wouldn't let that tweaker drive anything of mine either, you old bag.
Okay, so 150, 155, so then down to 150.
Down there
Sorry.
tomorrow.
I already played that one.
So she's got a
This
whole...
one?
Sunny has a whole list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're probably all interesting, but we're going to get to the majority of them. Because all the ladies love to stop and tell each other how much they love one another and how much they respect and believe in each other. It's all kinds of... It's just pompous. It's like watching like the Golden Globe Awards or something. I'm just kidding, girls. You guys do a fantastic job. You just got to slow down on grooming each other's egos in that sense. Oh, I just love what it is that you do. Oh, I love you. Oh my God, you're just the best. Guys, I love you so much.
Was going on. Daniel was driving Malaya's white Nissan Pathfinder. I believe hers is like a 2016, 2017. So it looks a lot different than the brand new ones, of course. But that's all I seen him drive. And then Malaya did confirm that there was a guy that came there the day of the search that was apparently searching with Daniel
Here we go,
at
Mike
some
Demand.
point too. And that said person, I'd have to find his name again, but Malaya did say that was the guy he was getting.
This is Chance Lays, the fucking tweaker. Chance, you're a tweaker too, boy. And here we have a bunch of tweakers sitting around trying to come up with another tweaker to put the blame on. Oh, you can't trust him. He's a tweaker. Oh, he must have kidnapped the kids. His tweaker girlfriend must have kidnapped the kids. Yeah. What about the tweakers within the home? They have nothing to do with it? Danny, you're so triggered over this substance use disorder that you've developed. Do you know that dude online, Clavicular? Well, he's actually, it's not comparable because Daniel's using the crystal methamphetamine, the crystal in that sense. He's not using the tablet version.
Allegedly.
Now, I don't want that to go anywhere. I will grab the guy's name for you. I have it back in messages between somebody, maybe even Malaya, I forget. But she did confirm that one of the guys that was searching with Daniel was a dealer that he was getting stuff from. So,
well, fuck, they're all out there getting high. Of course, you got them to come down on Saturday. You needed another re-up. You need to get your shit re-upped. Just, it makes perfect sense to Daniel. It does. I need to refuel and I need a nice new big shard. Put that in my glass dick to huff back on my torch out on my four-wheeler, out of Mom's four-wheeler. Out in the middle of nowhere up to my waist in water. Listening to the chopper.
Okay. Let's see if Haley can pop back on here. 1 sec.
Jan,
Yes.
Carrie's asking if you
Fortunately, a
can
little-
do closed caption for Sonny's video.
Not now.
It's not available yet, but I think it's because it hasn't fully been uploaded. I
You gotta do it before you go live.
haven't escaped out of the channel because sometimes when you do a live, it takes a couple of hours
Yeah.
for it to actually load properly, and she just finished this. So I
Yeah.
do apologize. I don't know. Can I put closed caption on mine? Is that possible? I don't even know how to do that.
It won't work. I don't think it'll work on yours. No,
Okay.
on a live you can't do CC, but yeah.
What I would suggest, Carrie, was it Carrie?
I love you, Lori, but you're gonna have to make your question more concise. You're confused. You can go ask Grok that. Go ask AI that question. If you've got a point to make, ask it. I'm just telling you what I see. They state things all the time in the media. They don't release direct information. It's got to be indirect. Got to learn to play the game.
Put CC. Daphne's, do you know how to do that? Can I do that now, or do I do that after? And if not, Carrie, when we're done here, if you go, by the time I'm done and you go over to Sunny's.
No, I just don't like the way that the comments formed. It's passive aggressive, and I know you well enough, Lori, to know that you don't mean to be passive aggressive. But I got to say something, because when you ask a question, it's not like you want to know that answer. I feel that you're asking the question to be contrary to whatever point that I made earlier ago, which I don't even know. So I mean, it's difficult to keep up. So you got to make it more concise, because usually you make good points. Usually.
It's a Criming Shame. It'll have been done uploading, and you should be able to see the closed caption comments on there. Okay. Okay.
little bit of, right, chance. So you guys already know, sorry, was it chance?
But if you're talking about my interpretation of the words of McCammon's words in the article, I think you're looking too far into it. I'm saying that really tongue in cheek, but with an underlying point, because we all know that you can get away with stuff like that. And that's just how a federal governmental agency can work. I'm not saying that's a for sure thing. I'm not even looking to argue over it. I'm not that serious about it.
And he was in the documents on there. So again, right, I just want to reiterate. So these were private messages sent to Daniel from the Drunk Turkey Show back
I'm up
in
here trying to do comedy, motherfucker.
August 30th,
I'm
as
just
a matter
kidding.
of fact. They were never to be played. They were just, let's see here. I wonder if that's better. Haley entered this. Is that better, Haley? Can you hear me?
A little bit for now, yeah.
Yeah, I won't keep you too much longer here. So that was just the next one was about you talking about, about the drug dealer, for Daniel, which we know his name in the documents, Chance Lays, blah, blah, blah. It's been out there for a while. Other people have already brought it up.
So here we have Haley. We have Haley talking about, she knows who Daniel's rug dealer is. She can identify him. And she's the victim of violence on that day at the end of the driveway by that crazy old bat, Janie McKenzie. And some say Logan as well wanted to throw hands, but she was scared.
And yes, he is telling the truth. The bike did have a wiring problem because the mice get into it and chewed all the wiring off of it. So that's why it wasn't used neither until it got fixed. I've been looking at the comments, and if you guys have anything wrong, don't get mad at me, but I will correct you guys.
You hear that? If you guys have anything wrong out there, she's going to correct you. Oh, well, thank God. You just tell us everything there, Janie. You see how she works? How would you know what the truth is that particular day? How would you, Janie, know what it is that you claim not to know enough in order to advise everybody on what the truth is and that you're going to correct people?
If you go back at the screenshots that Malaya sent Belinda, you will find the time of when Malaya told Belinda what time she called the 911. It's all in her messages to Belinda. No, Daniel did not drive the ATV. I told you it was Justin and I that were out on the bike all day. We picked Daniel up on the pipeline on an old road. We went up, Justin and I went up the pipeline and we went off on an old road and we found Daniel there. We picked Daniel up. Daniel was sitting on the front of the bike, so there was Justin, me, and Daniel on the bike, and we drove Daniel back to his friends that were on the pipeline, and Justin and I came back home.
Well, I wonder what he was doing out by himself. I wonder what he was doing out by himself then, the way you describe it there, Janie. You're picking him up on the four-wheeler. Can you believe this old bat's driving around on a four-wheeler tweaking just like the rest of them? All associating with this rug dealer? Maybe they all had to fulfill some supply. They all had to re-up. Oh, no, I get you, Lori. You're not getting at you. Yeah, no, I know, but I get attached to the questions when I read 3/4 of the way through them, and it confuses my mind. Anyway, Mariska, listen to IAX from today. I think Sonny talks about DT broadcasting Haley's voice messages. Three of them on the four-wheeler. Oh, safety first here. They're putting on a safety video, probably. All avoiding the police. All out there. Really, it contradicts a lot of the situations when it comes to calling in missing kids in that sense that I've heard of lately.
Well, if you know what a four-wheeler is, it's only big enough for two people. Justin was driving, I was sitting on the back, so we made Daniel sit on the front because there was no room for him to sit on the back with me. Okay, no problem.
Storytelling,
I'm sorry,
right?
people, but
Insinuating
I do not accept
information.
friends requests, so please don't send them to me.
She doesn't need any more
Is there
friends.
anything else you want me to clear up? Because I'm going to bed soon. So, if you got any questions, ask them now. Okay.
Could you imagine hosting a party? Oh, we've got company coming over tonight, dear. Oh, do you want to hand out the hors d'oeuvres, Janie? Do you want to hand out and schmooze with the guests? Maybe you can make a little bit of small talk with everybody. Oh, how about the weather? How about them Blue Jays? I don't need any more friends. I'm going to bed soon. Oh my God.
Okay, I already answered this question. My brother called me at 8:48 and asked me if I wanted...
Oh, okay. I already answered this question. Oh, fuck. It's so monotonous. I can't believe I'm being put through this.
to go to town. I said no, I was going back to bed. So I laid back down. I was playing on Facebook. I dozed off. I'm not sure what exactly time. I didn't look at the clock. My dog woke me up. I heard the kids outside. And then I dozed back off again. And the next thing you know, I heard Daniel hollering Jack and Lily's name. Then about maybe 5-10 minutes after I heard him. I'm not sure exact what time.
So the question is, we've heard all of this, right, man? We all know. But it's ever interesting to go back and listen the more that you come to learn. And the more stands out to you, doesn't it? What the fuck were they all doing out there together on the four-wheeler when we all know and we're all sure that they already know what happened to the kids? They're out there just making it look like they're searching. Maybe that's why they were allowed to do it. Because they had to let this play out in order to figure out what the fuck these tweakers are doing. Like, will it lead to something? Some of you in my chat are talking about how they had to disassemble the mathematics lab. I'm not talking about a test. That they had to disassemble the mathematics lab. I don't know about that. Maybe. But it definitely had a lot to do with re-upping their own supply that they were getting high off of, which if what Haley says is true and Chance Lays is the dealer, that would really say that they're not manufacturing as much as we'd like or you'd like to think. So they're either buying it from Chance and Chance has got them at his beck and call in that sense. Like, they probably call him every couple days. They're best friends because, you know, they need to be. Yeah, Mayflower avoiding the RCMP. That's one of the benefits, but I'm not sure that that's all of the reason. That's everything. Well, I believe Wade too, Sandra. That's not the entirety. There's more reasons, perhaps. But it's very difficult to picture in your mind because it's not really talked about or identified that much, just other than in passing. You imagine Daniel running around there like a tweaker to the point that Haley had to call him out on it. Of course he was in the bathroom smoking it. He just got it from chance when he was out. He just met up, got re-upped. Oh, perfect. That's the first thing he was going to do, was sneak into that bathroom and pack that glass dick. You don't believe anyone heard Jack and Lily on May 2nd period LD in the ditch? I'm with you. I don't believe it at all. The fact too, when you ask the parents, when you arrive on scene, when is the last time that you saw your kids? And all everybody can talk about is the last time they heard them. That's avoidance of the question. Never mind anything that they said. They avoided your question. When was the last time you laid eyes on them? And it was difficult since the get-go, and that was representative in the paperwork. You could get a good feel through what wasn't there. Oh, we just heard them. I heard them pop their heads in, but we were in and out of sleep. Nothing is a direct answer. But we're sure they must have opened and closed the backsliding door, and we didn't know because it doesn't make a noise. So tell me why that would be significant when you heard them inside and outside both times before, and you've already mentioned it. So really, who the fuck cares about entering and exiting the door? Where are they? It's just a demonstration about how the suspects want to blame the victims here. They voluntarily left the premises. Oh, that's a likely story. That happens never. Don't believe that for a second, you two jackasses. Possibly three. Cool J, what was Danny Boy doing all day Friday, and why didn't he take his phone to wherever he was doing, whatever he was doing? Well, because he didn't want to be tracked or traced, and he was avoiding. But he wants you to think that he was just so into searching for the kids that he must have forgot. Yeah, it's not going to float. Still going to have to Daniel, these answers mean that, the question's null and void in that sense. No, those answers still need to be filled in, whether you like it or not. Those answers to those questions still need to be filled in before any resolution comes to all of this, and they will be filled in. Now, the cops can fill them in on your behalf if you don't want to say it, but they're going to lead you to that first. And so far, that's what's happened. And you can see that in their language. They want you to fill in the blanks rather than the individuals who really can answer the questions, which is the people who were present with Jack and Lily on that property. So what happened on Thursday evening? What happened on Thursday evening around that house? And remember, there's 2 children that this affected that are no longer with us, who were victimized by Daniel, and they're being victimized by Janie and Malaya to this point. But primarily Daniel and Janie. Not just in whatever incident occurred, but what happened immediately after whatever incident occurred, which in of itself is going to be a life in prison felony. You damn well know it. And included in that is going to be Janie, because she's been made an accessory after the fact. And she's misled police, obstructed justice. Now, there's all kinds of aggravating factors along with that because there's children involved. How fucking cold. KD, thank you very much. It's very generous of you for those 5 gifted memberships, darling. I appreciate that.
time because I didn't look at the clock. And when I opened the door, Malaya was standing there in front of the RV, and I said, "What's up?" And she said, "The kids are missing. The kids, Lily and Jack, are gone." And I said, "How long?" She said, "About 20 minutes.
If it really, that's going to be the words that go to court. These are the words that are going to be used against them in that sense, because it's very important that the jury understand what it is that they're claiming happened. So their story to the RCMP had to have included this 20 minutes from that initial time. And that's going to matter in the long run, Janie. And we know that that never fucking happened. You already knew, you're standing out there in the driveway. You want us to believe that she already knew what happened to the kids? Oh, the kids are missing already. Not, I can't find Jack and Lily. See, you all are out there in the middle of the driveway in accepting the situation already. A situation that you want everybody to believe you have no idea what happened. You hear that, Kent? Oh, Lori in Nova Scotia, welcome to customer, darling. Thank you. Oh, by the way, for my members, I posted this particular like 30-second video of that the pedophile on the internet here, Rex Allen Fredrickson, running after Bird in his truck. The thing that he's fixated over and streams on the daily over there, he hides that particular snapshot of what's going to be used against him in court. And it's just a little snippet. That's why it's there. It's called Run Rex Run. He's trying to sue the individual that he's running after under the guise and premises that he's terrified of him, in need of a restraining order. Now, why would you be running after the individual in his truck driving down the road if that's so? And that's what that video shows. That's Bird's camera footage. Anyway. I appreciate you, sweet tea. 47 months, darling.
I don't know what time I seen Malaya outside. Because I didn't look at the clock, I came in, I grabbed my boots, and headed up to the woods.
Well, isn't that interesting? That's just straight up. She doesn't know what time it is. She doesn't even care. You guys don't even care to pass on what time that was. You think to a person who was so close to the situation that you would have no problem telling us what time abouts that was, or at least come to some sort of understanding about approximately when that was. But you want to tell everybody that you had no idea what time it is? None whatsoever. And that's supposed to be good enough. You could have put some sort of time together in your mind if it had been, or if it did really happen. But the fact is it never happened. And you can tell by the way that she just presented it. Something so important to the timeline, you want everybody to believe that you don't know what time it happened, just in a short amount of time frame. That's selective. You're selecting what you're being specific about. You're a poor liar, Janie. You're disgusting. Look at what you're doing to Jack and Lily. Look at what you've done. This isn't helping anybody's situation. No possible way that she would ever want to put herself in a situation like this. I wonder what is her primary focus. I wonder what her reason and rationale is for doing the most evil thing possible. Even for a bitch like Janie. It's so hard to fathom somebody choosing to do this on the back of two missing kids. Just fabricate and not have anything to do with the reason why they're missing.
So I gave you guys a timeline. 8:48 is when he called me. I dozed off. I don't know exactly what time I heard the kids. And
it stinks so badly of rehearsed nonsense that she is undermining her own credibility in the moment by telling you that the time doesn't matter. She doesn't remember what time it was, even though she does. Fuck, think about how she's describing it. No, you don't want to associate a time with it. That way, nobody can come back at you right away and say bullshit. They just automatically dismiss it. It shouldn't be very difficult to put it together, knowing how important timelines are to the situation. A situation that you want everybody to believe that you care about.
according to what, if I read it correctly, in the chat between Belinda and Malaya, she said that she called the 911 at about 9:40. So that's what I believe it says.
She's lying right there. 9:40. She didn't call 911 at 9:40. It was 8 a.m., wasn't it? No. She called at 10 a.m. They came 20 minutes later, but there's a discrepancy between what she told the dispatch officer. She told the kids were missing since 8 a.m. initially. Silver, thank you very much, you old bat. Happy New Year's to you.
You'd have to check out the conversation between Malaya and Belinda.
Now, here's a person who should be in a position of knowing that piece of information, telling you that you should go back and watch something else in order to learn the piece of information that's just as easy to repeat in the moment and be done with it. What a manipulator. What a manipulator you are, you old crow. No wonder Earl couldn't handle any more of you. Could you imagine these two in an argument? Probably don't argue anymore. They probably just talk smack. As Earl comes by and dumps off the load of hardwood, comes down with half a cord. Why don't you pile this in your shed, you old bitch? Fuck you, bitch. Staying on my property. You're lucky I love my boy Danny. She's probably cursing and cussing him. Just a real man-hater. Son of a bitch, Earl. I wish you were more like Darren Geddes. Why can't you be as like that Darren character that comes over here and tells me how beautiful my home is?
I'm talking about the discussion between Malaya and Belinda, not the discussion.
What's her deal with the conversation between Malaya and Belinda? It has nothing to do with her. What it has to do with is she needs to manipulate it a little bit. She's got the minds captured of people in that particular moment. And look what she chose to do. Man, they're just such liars. It's amazing to watch people lie like this in real time. But so blatantly. They're really desperate to get away with this. That's what's taking so much time. When is the last time you've seen a circus like this? Like really, at some point down the line, we're going to look back and say, this case really built itself. When it's in front of the preliminary hearing, when they take a look at all of the evidence, you're going to see it at that point. You're going to see that stupid-ass Daniel, who's up for a Darwin Award in that sense. This case built itself based off of really all of the evidence and the bullshit, the unnecessary shit that Daniel presented. Tried to use in order to bolster his own innocence. Anytime that you have a person out there needing to make themselves look innocent, they've done something. Oh, you got to believe me. You got to believe me. Believe me, Janie says. What do you think Janie did in her part is in all of this? Do you think that there's something that has to do with the dog that she's, the dog that was there? I wonder about that now. I'm wondering. I'm open to that. What happened there that she had to get rid of that dog? And why wasn't the dog gone before the search if that was? Why did it have to happen at that point in time? Maybe it was a combination of things. Do you remember how Trezell West used a third party to carry out some sort of discipline or otherwise abuse in that situation? Maybe the dog was used. Who knows? We don't need to know all of that yet. That'll come out. The answer is out there. And it's going to come by way of Daniel. Daniel and Malaya and Janie are going to tell us what happened. Oh, Happy New Year's Eve to you, darling. Carol Johansson. That's very generous. Mwah! I appreciate that.
Between Malaya and Cindy. Malaya was supposed to tell Belinda, according to her screenshot, that she called 911 at 9:40.
Think about how detailed she didn't have any fucking problem remembering what happened between a conversation between Belinda and Malaya and a screenshot that Sonny Austin from It's a Criming Shame brought up. So that tells us that she's watching all of these YouTube channels, Janie is, and that she is minding and she understands the concept of time and its importance and relevance into the case with Jack and Lily. Here she just was quoted demonstrating that. Except when it had to do with her whereabouts in this made-up story just a few moments ago before that. Do you see how bad it looks, Janie? God damn it, I wish I was in that interview room with you. So is the dog that Wade mentioned Fluffy? Sandra, unfortunately, if you're referring to Tucker as Fluffy, we don't know who or where that dog is that both Haley and Belinda have both mentioned. When's it not a mathematics party around there, Calio J Hip 1959? When you're high every day's a party. Any hour, any minute, any moment you can turn into a party. It's all party. Partying all the time. Like that Eddie Murphy song. My Danny wants to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time.
The one about between Malaya and Cindy? Is that the one you want me to look at? Okay, there's something I want to ask you guys about the message that you're putting up on the screen about where it says Cindy Murray. Did you notice that the person in blue, there's no little person beside the message that were sent? Usually when you message someone, the picture of the person comes up at the bottom of the blue. Malaya has the same phone as me, and whenever I message somebody...
Oh my God, she's so stupid.
My little picture comes... Are you saying a phone? And here's another thing too. I called my brother at 10:19 to tell him that the kids were missing. And Malaya waited till the time she called her mother to tell her the kids were missing.
That was
and
another
I got
lie.
on the phone and started calling my brother right away. And by the way, on my interview the cameraman took pictures of my phone and my name on my phone to prove it's my phone, and he even took a screenshot of when Malaya called me when I was on the pipeline and told me to come back here. Well, why send a screenshot to you guys or to this chat showing when she made the phone call to Malaya? Shouldn't it be when Malaya made the phone call when the kids went missing?
Oh, a real question from the ages there. Oh boy, oh boy. Wow. What a deep thinker you are, Janie. Holy shit. Why don't you repeat that question, please? You want to try repeating that question again there, Janie? You don't even know what it is that you're saying.
Okay.
Okay.
Again, as I was saying quickly, these clips were supposed to be private, but because Danielle felt the need to share them with certain people, obviously in this messenger group or whatever together, whoever he shared them with, obviously they got passed around, and they're going to make it out there. So
come on.
Haley was gracious enough to join today because it's like, you know what? She said what she said, and it's not like there's any sort of solving of Jack and Lily's case, but he broke the trust, so we're getting ahead of it. Bottom line is just playing some of the clips there. I sent Daniel about 6 or 7 clips, just playing those clips because they're out there anyway, so that's what we're talking about. Just quickly, Haley, we only because somebody just asked us. The 7th person, I had asked you about the 7th person polygraphed in there. Now, Patty was the 7th person.
And that's my fangirl moment for you can, as well as 80-year. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that. Was
you guys, and Haley's audio is going
to DT. I will just say that because
I would really like to find that clip.
Yeah. Saying to someone.
And maybe that's part of my issue here. I don't know. But yeah, like Darren Gaddis or whatever his name was conversating with Patty a lot, and she was kind of, she's older and was sick, and she just kind of sided with him. And then there was a point there that Malaya and Hayden kind of got, Cindy has rules. Cindy's a good mom. Cindy's a good person, and she has rules, and sometimes those rules weren't being followed. So it was easier to, sway to Patty and get what they needed or stay where they needed to stay, right? So that's part of where that came from. Again, this is how I was feeling at that point. And keep in mind, Darren Geddes or whatever was, threatening me if I kept talking and stuff. So
Darren Geddes was threatening me if I kept on talking and stuff. So here we have old Derwood threatening the victim of Janie's violence at the end of the driveway after day 1 of the search? Or day 2? At the search. Derwood, why would you be threatening Haley? Because she's the one person that the public can put their trust in because she was there. She's not going along with your rehearsed story in that sense, and she's calling out the substances, the rugs. So that would put you in a situation where you're defending everybody who's an addict and abusing these substances that led to the deaths of Jack and Lily. Whether it was directly or indirectly. This is what you're defending, Derwood. Kent. We go far beyond that. You're profiting off of it by branding Jack and Lily and putting them on window stickers keychains, bracelets. Oh, fuck. Are we going to remember that?
So
Yeah. So remember Daniel was too in the chat, in that private chat. Remember that? When Daniel's basically like telling you to
yeah,
shut your mouth and you're like, LOL, basically. Like, really? Like, if you stop talking,
well,
I
I
will.
do recall that, but it's
Yeah.
like everybody else can talk, so why can't
Mhm.
I?
Yeah.
It's like how I
Yeah.
felt, and like I don't know. So
Well, just to confirm, so you don't have the children stashed away somewhere, do you?
I absolutely do not, but at this point, I wish that was the case. I wish I
know.
had some answers. I wish Jack and Lily were home and things were normal, because they are not normal, and it's very hard to continue to keep going with nothing.
Absolutely. And you don't believe that they're on the reserve anywhere hidden by the First Nations, all right?
Absolutely not. Like, that from the get-go was just, left ballpark for me. Like, where does something like that even come from?
Yeah. I know.
That's never been the case.
People saying, "Oh,
Although,
she opened it up."
people were hopeful that was, but that's never been.
I was going to say, right, on a hope and a miracle and a prayer, would love to know that these children were trafficked or given away to somebody or stuff like that. But none of that made sense at all, right? And everything is always what we call Occam's razor. The closest line to the truth is the truth. Almost 100% of the time, it's going to be always certain situations. And usually in cases like this, it's usually going to be family members or someone close to the family.
And
News.
To put some sort of little bit of cheer
in any way.
I got no more timestamps. How is there 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and I can't find any of the timestamps? We only got through 2. We're gonna have to do it again. We're gonna have to do it again after I can get the timestamps, because I don't know where they are. Oh, children belong to God. If Jamie's bigger dog got a hold of one of the children, is that why Janie was raking the driveway, was to clean up blood matter? What about the second child? Mayflower, Patty, she was supposed to have heart surgery soon, so why not Janie? Well, they gave her a polygraph test. They were talking about that. It's interesting how it didn't seem to have much of an effect or a problem with Patty taking a polygraph test, but Janie couldn't take it because of a particular heart condition. The fact of the matter is it was pointless anyway. It's all voluntary. Do you want to take a polygraph? Yes, no. Didn't have to take it. But how they misrepresented it is what's important. They still continued to misrepresent it. I don't think dogs have anything to do with what happened to Lily and Jack, Firehorse says. Yeah, I don't either, but it makes me wonder. I think whatever happened by way of Daniel's hand directly in a violent outburst. Wait, so not only is Darren laughing at a missing kids case, he's harassing people of the family, right, but hasn't been ordered a polygraph or sat through an interrogation. I hope my judgment is wrong, but they are. Well, at this point, Shy, none of it's called an interrogation. It's all interview and evidence collecting thus far. He's been questioned. He's even been called out for spreading misinformation through mainstream media several times. He's been interviewed several times. But he's known primarily for spreading misinformation and trying to intimidate people who are close to the case if they don't follow and toe whatever narrative that he and Janie come up with thus far. That's the reality of the situation. It's not made up. That's true. If that's true, it would indicate that he's got a whole lot more to do with the situation at hand. And time will pull that out. It's still not going to exonerate in any way Daniel. He's still going to be responsible 100% for this. So is Janie. It's not just what led up or what incident occurred to these two poor children. It's what happened immediately afterwards. Like, think about them coming forward and with this conspiracy. There's all those conspiracy charges, how they mishandled this situation, the accessory after the fact, the obstruction of justice charges. That's just for Janie. None of that had to happen. What did they do that put them in a position to make the decision and to all go along with having to push this bullshit story in hopes of getting away with what we think of is the murder of two children? No matter what the finite details are, they're going to be able to back them into a corner to catch them in their lies. There's so many of them. You couldn't possibly keep any of it straight. It's that far away from reality. That's what's going to matter in all of this. They'll get them and back them and paint them into that corner right up to the stand, hopefully. And if they don't want to speak in court, that's going to speak for everything. It's going to speak directly to their guilt, which means whatever the judge determines in sentencing. You can't just stay silent the entire time and refuse to answer the questions directly. It means something, and all you have to do is prove to them that the kids, Jack and Lily, are no longer alive, and that Janie and Daniel are both lying. They'll be held responsible, no matter what you believe happened. Like, my curiosity needs to be quenched in that sense. See, once they push it that far, we'll get to learn a lot more, but all of the information is going to be coming from Daniel or Janie or Malaya. And they can pull in everybody else at that point. They don't need to tell Derwood to go out and start talking about some other tweakers. We're worried about the tweakers that we already have here in the house. Debbie Satterfield, well, who called Logan then that she was there shortly after 9? You brought that up in my comment section. I don't know that she was. I don't know what time Logan showed up. If you can isolate that clip, send it to me. Logan just lives down the road. What a catfish she is. Hashtag no filter Logan.
Other than being neglectful.
Corey Feldman. I would need to look for... Janie McKenzie's old interview here. This old faithful.
Build a website you love.
Where's Fluffy? One moment, please.
This is the patio door
that Jack and Lily would have.
that Jack and Lily came out of.
The old tweaking bitch. Nasty old fucking whore. Angry old fucking tweaker, Janie, you are. What's your problem, you old cranky bitch? What did you do to those kids?
So,
how could you not trust a person who lives in a fucking RV like that? You know that pedophile that I was just talking about, Rex? The Run Rex Run? Hello, Patriot Girl. Lives in an RV just like that, only he doesn't have a wood-burning stove in it. He's in Colorado. Fort Collins, to be exact. We know exactly where he's on the register at.
So it's the morning of May 2nd. Take me through what happened.
Okay, I was up at 6 o'clock.
Look at how things have really changed since the first days of the search. She's really cleaned things up, her and Danny Boy. What else have you had to do? Tweak out and clean up. It's probably whereabouts it happened. Imagine Janie out there just raking, filling potholes, then leveling things off, for a pool. What pool? Exactly. The pool that's in her imagination. Man, if only that sliding door made a louder noise that people would have recognized that the kids have gotten out, things may have been different. Could you imagine? This is what she's trying to impress upon to all of us when she says that. Like, does it really matter? Does it really fucking matter what door the kids went out of? Not really. Not in the light of the children still missing. No, nobody knows what happened, and all you're doing is focusing on this goddamn door. Why is that? Because you have to over-explain it to make it stick in people's minds, to really put the blame in a slick manner back onto the kids that are missing. That's how desperate they are.
Sat in there and had my tea. And then on Facebook, 7 o'clock.
She sat in there and had her tea because that's all she can fucking make in there. She's got an extension cord running out there. She's got a 120 volt, pot she can boil some water in. Maybe the odd time she might have some noodles. She might have some kimchi, some flavored kimchi from the store.
I get up.
It's so important to do this pretend walkthrough. There's only like 7 steps. Do you notice that it's not like it's a very big walkthrough? Oh, I need you to come over here and do a walkthrough with me. Fuck, you just walked 4 steps. You can explain that in less time it took to actually walk those. You can do this in a more concise manner. I came over here. This is where the kids play. Never once is she actually alluding to what it is that she wants to say. This is like a pantomime, isn't it? It's like a game of charades with her, rather than a real clear communication of what it is that she wants people to know in what would otherwise or should be an emergency situation. What they want you to believe would be a violation of anybody's privacy and life to the nth degree. What you want people to believe is somebody came on there, a stranger, and abducted the 2 kids when your backs were turned less than 10 feet away. And you still want to put it back onto the kids as they voluntarily left outside the premises, and just at that same time somebody was there to snatch them up and take them away without saying it directly. It's been 7 months now. We know what it is that you want us to think, but you will never commit to saying it. That's a tell. So you've got this poor girl from the CBC to come over and bring her camera friends They already know what's up, bro. They know this fucking routine. And look at what Janie's doing. Hey, if it's misinformation you want to confront, what's on your mind? But there's nothing. It's nothing but circular talk and illusions. Alluding to this and alluding to that. So what is it you want to say, Janie?
Come over here. Fed my chickens.
Well, hold on with your chickens there, sweet tits. I got to thank Nature Walks for the $20 super chat. Thank you very much, darling. That's very, very, very generous of you. Brian Sutherland says, why is the funking gate there instead of on the kids' side of the fence? Whatever it is, it probably has a lot more to do with that angry old fucking dog that was there rather than that cute little fluffy Tucker that she has up in there right now for the photo op. This is like a gay porno set with things that are rented to bring them in to really set things off. You should have seen it like 24 hours ago. It was a fucking it was a war zone up in there.
My brother, Ron, called me at 8:48 and asked me if I wanted to go to town with him. And I said no. I said I'm staying home. I said I'm going back to bed. Okay, I went and I laid down. Next thing you know, my dog started barking.
That dog that's probably borrowed from the pound right now, Tucker. Never doesn't know where he is. He's locked in there. This is my dog, Tucker. Everybody take a photo of my dog. Where's your real dog, Janie? Where's your real dog? Haley and Belinda both say that you have a beige dog. A much larger dog. Why did you have to switch him out and make Tucker play the part? So we have 2 missing children and a missing dog.
And the kids were out in the yard. Now you can see there's 2 swings where the kids play. My bedroom is right there. I heard the kids. This is where the kids' swings are.
So you're telling me you're out there less than 4 steps away from them. Again, you're reiterating that you heard them and not seen them. How is it that you can't just glance out the window and see the kids? What is it you're avoiding? This story didn't really happen. What part of any part of this story is significant enough to ever recall? Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit about any part of this fucking story that she's coming out with if it were true? If this actually did occur, why is she so focused on any of this? She's desperate for you to believe that she heard the kids out there, thereby assuming that the kids were seen that particular morning as opposed to something happening to them Thursday night. All she has to do is say to people that she saw the kids. But she refuses, everybody refuses to say that they actually saw Jack or Lily on that morning, and they refer loosely to hearing them, which is completely different. Not to mention not answering the fucking initial question by police. They want to make you think that that's a cheap replacement. That's a Temu replacement for visual identification and interaction for the children, assholes. It doesn't matter how many times you tell us you hear the fucking kids. That's not the answer to the initial question, which is always, in every situation, when was the last time you visually saw the children? And instead, you replaced it with this goddamn story of hearing them. Like that's supposed to suffice for us. Oh, God bless you, Nature Walks. Thank you very much. Another $20. Oh, my God. it's going to be a fantastic new year for both of us. Now let's see.
This is where they always played.
And so that's where...
Again, what the fuck does that have to do with where Jack and Lily are at this point in time? So you're sitting there trying to lay out a mystery, allude to some sort of question, never directly saying it. What is it that you want to say to us? You've brought us all the way here. Can you just out with it already? Can you just tell her? It's not an effective communication on purpose.
Where I heard them. And I can hear everything in that trailer. If two kids get out of a fence, and Jack and Lily are all the time yelling, especially Lily.
All of this is distancing, right? A lot of distancing language wrapped up in all of this that never has anything to do with actually where Jack and Lily are, what happened. Just you hearing them, therefore, what? You never quite say. Nobody believes that this actually happened. Speaking from experiential memory, why is it that they have to give you both ends of the story here? It's made to confuse you. On one hand, they tell you that they always, but except today that they never. So by somehow telling you always, it tricks the listener's brain into assuming that this was just an ordinary day, like old Danny likes to say. But it's not that simple, because this wasn't any ordinary day. This was the day that you reported Jack and Lily missing. And by the way, it's the day that you refuse to recount at any point in time what was happening around the house. You avoid at all cost anything about the timeline. That goes for all three of you. And the picture that they paint with this bullshit timeline, this fabrication, is one that would indicate that nobody really has or have seen the kids for 16 hours. Except old Malaya was up at 6:15 to call them in sick that day for school. And you want us to believe that they just voluntarily walked out that door and disappeared. Can you believe this shit? Nothing to see here. Old Janie, you've got to believe her. She's not here to lie to you, she says.
Come on, Jackie. Come on, Jackie. Let's go, Jackie. Let's go, Jackie. It's all I hear out here. When the kids get out of the fence and come out through here, I would have heard them yelling.
There's that fucking asshole Derwood down at the end of the driveway during all of this as well. What a stunned cunt. Like, where's all of this going? You're the one who bring it up, so why are you commenting in the form of a question? That doesn't relate any form of information to the gal. It's just you rambling on in a nonsensical manner, Timu lady. So thus far, she's really not said anything.
Come on, Jackie. Let's go, Jackie. Let's go. I didn't hear anything. The next thing I heard is I heard Daniel yelling.
She didn't hear anything. What is not hearing anything? And then followed by that, the next thing that she heard. So she's... Look at these guys that are, the producers, the editors already know they're full of shit. How else could you edit that in such a way? You know, she's just that contradictory. You didn't hear anything. Well, you not hearing anything is actually considered hearing something that you've identified as nothing. And then immediately afterwards, you say, the next thing I hear. Well, why would you remember the next thing that you heard as opposed to the thing that you didn't hear? Oh, that's a real brain teaser, isn't it there, Janie? It'll take you a whole pot of coffee or tea for that one. Lily wasn't kept home because she was sick. She was kept home because of her black eye. That's the suspicions, Bonza. Coop wants to know if Kent gave her that RV. I'm thinking he did. And probably the black tarp so the goddamn roof wouldn't leak on her. For an extra 50. You got that right, Carol Johansson. Timu is Grange, Mom Malaya, yeah, Mom Danny trash, Logan trash, all trash. Oh, fuck, that Logan is real trash. That stupid bitch. Walking around catfishing people with the filtered pictures, making it look like she's a bit of a hottie. Holy shit, until you get to see the real her. Holy, there's somebody for everybody. She's hard up, though. She got beat by the ugly stick. Oh, yeah, Kent's suspicious and all of this. Absolutely is. Especially when Janie shouts him out and thanks him. Oh, thank you, Kent. Oh, thank you for the fucking RV. Janie reminds you of Grandis, Chris? Yeah, that's a good observation. She's just as nasty in the same kind of ways. When this gets all finalized, old Janie here is going to be up for a laundry list of charges.
Yelling. He was yelling for Jack and Lily. I didn't get up because I thought he was yelling for Jack and Lily to get in the house. So the next thing you know, came out of the trailer.
So she's acknowledging that Daniel's around the house doing a lot of yelling that she noticed. God knows what it was over, but her mentioning Daniel yelling is probably a common thing around there. Mr. Testy.
Trailer after I heard Daniel, about, I'd say, 10 minutes after I heard him, I come out of the trailer. I opened up the door, was standing here. Malaya was standing right here with Meadow on her hip. And I come out and I said, "What's up?" She said, "Jack and Lily are missing." I said, "How long?" She said, "About 20 minutes." I closed the door, got my boots on, came out here, ran up in the woods. Just right up here. The kids have a little fort.
Isn't it bizarre to anyone that this is what she chooses to focus on and how she tells? You know, really, why does she have the need to tell what happened like this in the first place? If this was a legitimate circumstance, the focus should primarily be on Jack and Lily, not an overemphasis on self. Especially when things aren't directed so ambiguous and obscure as to what it is that she's getting at. It's like somebody distracting you, interrupting you, trying to get your attention because they have something to tell you, and then it making absolutely no fucking sense. Every time you just did what it is that you did, including this, Janie.
That they made out of sticks and fir branches. And that's where they go. You can see them and hear them. We went for walks.
Again, yeah, you've got a great one coming back. Ginger says, why show the fort if they never went into the woods? Yeah, exactly. Right. Because it's more important to them that you know what it is that they were thinking in that immediate point in time. And they're bullshitting and bedazzling you with their bullshit and changing their story. Okay? That's what it is to an investigator. They've changed their story. If the suspects changed their story, now What does that tell you as an investigator? Janie? Anybody? Anybody? Exactly. They're probably fucking guilty, and it's worth continuing to pursue in that sense. We know where the suspicion lies at that point in time, no matter how many times you claim that you're telling us the truth, fuckface. Okay? Every time. Every single time. That's textbook. They've changed their stories publicly. Because they don't have an exit strategy, to use market terms. They've bought in, but they can't buy out, because anytime that they buy out, they catch themselves. They commit to a certain way of thinking that people can contradict and then further call them out and take it to the next level. They want to be forever in this position that you believe that they just don't know what could have possibly happened. And in believing in this disappearing child act that they're presenting. They're presenting the disappearing child act. Only a guilty person would present a disappearing child act. To anybody else who's been victimized, violated, it would be a truthful account, a truthful story. You would understand what had happened, and there would be a lot of emotion involved. And there is none of it in this circumstance. Quite the opposite. You would have 25 different ways you could have think that this could have possibly happened, rather than focus on all of the things that you need people to believe is true about what it was that you were or weren't doing that particular morning in the hours leading up to whatever happened to Jack and Lily. We don't need your direct answers. We can get a good idea based off of what we know about your lives leading up to the incident.
In the woods. I had to practically carry Jack through the woods because there was no way that he was walking through all that tree falls and bushes. I did this whole area. There's an old road up back.
It's about the act for them. They want to undermine their own statements right after they bring them up to you. Nobody does that. You don't make the effort and commit unless you're trying to do something and mislead on purpose. Your mind doesn't work like that.
When I got up to the top of the hill, I met Daniel. And I said to him, I said, did you find them? He said, no. He said, you coming with me? I said, no. I said, I'm going to search this area. Because when she told me the kids were missing, you automatically think they went into the woods. That was my first instinct. Mm-hmm. So I went up and I did this whole area, this whole wooded area, right up to the...
Ooh, she slipped there, didn't she? Anybody else catch that? She's in and out of fragmented personalities here. She was just retelling the story and presenting it to them as her theory and rationale and reasoning to the bullshit fabrication in the first place, but switched up at the last moment to portray it as what people would think as to what you were thinking.
Went up and I did this whole area, this whole wooded area, right up to the top of the dirt road, came back down here and came back down the side of the road, came back down here and came back up the same spot. I went back.
That's a lot of comebacks, isn't it?
Back into the house by the time the cops were here. I don't know exactly what time. I didn't take my phone. The cops were here.
Oh, by the way, I don't know what time it was. I didn't take my phone. You've had all of this time to come up with this bullshit. Come back. Oh, by the way, I don't know what time it was. I didn't have my phone. Don't even ask. If this story had any credibility, you would have a time associated with it. Probably open up with the time. That way, you wouldn't confuse anybody when you're trying to communicate your point. This bitch needs a slap. Hobie lying. The fact that you want to volunteer and undermine your lead and your rationale and reasoning and your ability to relate and dismiss the importance of time in all of this is a huge red flag, dudes, bros and gals. Walking like
there was a bench sitting here, or a sawhorse, it's over there, was sitting here. I was sitting on it, bawling my eyes out.
I was sitting on this over here, bawling my eyes out. Nothing manipulative about all of that, is there? That's a great still shot. She really fucked up. Sky Painter, why bring up the thing about the phone and not bringing it in time? Well, she needs to add that. It's a subconscious, it undermines what it is she's saying. It negates what it is that she's saying. Not to the RCMP, not to the story, but in any other situation. It's just a pattern in how she lies. She's trying to really condition you into taking in all of this bullshit information without having to associate a time to hold against her at a later point in time on a greater scale. Okay? She's purposefully here trying to do something, and it has everything to do with disinformation.
I was crying because I blame myself for not getting up that morning.
You blame yourself. You don't even know what the fuck happened yet. So at what point along all of this little circus that you're portraying did you realize and figure out that it was severe enough that you could have made a difference? And a difference to what? What is it that you're committing to and saying that had happened to Jack and Lily? They just magically disappeared? You still don't want to say what happened. You wanted everybody to believe they wandered off into the woods. Now you want everybody to believe that you don't think that they're in the woods now. So therefore, we're supposed to just assume for you? No. See, a person in this circumstance would want to be very clear in their communications as to what the whole fucking point in being in front of the camera in the first place is, especially with these two missing children. She's just up here trying to convince everybody of something that isn't true, is true.
To see the kids, because if I would have got up, this wouldn't have never happened. Okay?
Tell the fucking cops, honey. You could tell the court when you're on that stand. You can cry for the judge. You can cry for those jurors all you want, honey.
That's why I was crying.
We've heard a lot about...
That's still not an answer, because she's avoiding telling you what it is that she's actually upset or crying about. Just whatever it was, that thing that they allude to, that they talk about, but they never quite explain what it is. The thing. The detriment of Jack and Lily. Well, Ginger, you could speculate further. Why isn't Daniel to blame for not getting up? Why isn't Malaya to blame for not getting up at that point? They blame everything else on Malaya. So why is it Janie's responsibility in that moment? Well, she just answers. She just needed to fill something in as to explain to everybody why she was so upset that particular morning, because Belinda mentioned that she was lying publicly. So she wants everybody to think it's because she's such a caring individual and she could have prevented something that she won't mention at any point in time. Well, it would sure be nice to know what that it is. Especially if you want to get your point across there, old Timu, honey. What a fucking liar. What a lying bitch. What a lying bitch on the back of two missing children, Janie. You're like a purple people eater.
The patio door.
Okay.
Yeah, so...
Oh, yeah, here we go.
Go see that.
Yeah, no problem. Let's go have a look at that patio door. Perfect. We can focus on this and take the opportunity to put blame back on to a 4 and 6 year old. Man, if that sliding door just made some noise, things could have been different too. Maybe that's another reason she could have been lying.
Sure.
So this is the patio.
This is
Every
the patio.
every time I look at this sliding door scene, I think about that scene from Ace Ventura: Pet Detective when he's demonstrating on the crime scene with the guado, and he's explaining how the crime was committed. He opens up the double-pane soundproof glass. Oh! He's demonstrating the double-pane soundproof glass. That's exactly where she got this idea from, probably. Like, why would it be so goddamn important to know exactly how many steps they took, what way they went? It really doesn't have any purpose. Their purpose is just part of the rationale and why they put the blame back on to the kids.
Door
That Jack and Lily would have.
that Jack and Lily came out of.
Oh! Yep.
And so
All checks out. Like, whoa. It's a little, you could probably grease that up a little bit. Probably grease that up. What kind of nastiness does he got over the windowsill? That place is falling apart. What a shithole. Boy, that sure is a couple of nice panes of glass, considering this place is such a fucking shithole. Is it original? Wow. Oh, believe me. The door's open half the time when you get that fucking wood stove fired up in there. When you get that wood stove fired up, the thing probably sits open because it gets so damn hot in there in the winter. But when you don't have it going and you're sleeping, you could probably, when that thing's open, you get a big whoosh of fresh air coming in there, at freezing temperatures. It's a little drafty on your hiney. You feel it. Doesn't matter if it's any noise or not, and it's meaningless and pointless to the greater reason why Jack and Lily aren't there anymore.
tell us why we've heard about the patio door.
Because everybody's saying on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok that the patio door makes a noise, and why they didn't hear the door open.
Are you fucking retarded? Are you absolutely out of this world retarded?
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class.
Must be. Because, listen, friends, this is an example of how she doesn't want to speak directly to the question. She didn't even answer the question. She just took that question and chose to answer it in a way that didn't have anything tangible to do with the meaning or purpose of where or any of this sliding door. I got distracted. The sliding door is. Hold on, honey. I got distracted. One moment, please. I'll let this play for a second.
The bedroom is back there. Okay?
That far window.
The last window is the bedroom.
And so they would have come out this door.
They would have come out this
that
door.
morning.
Yes.
And then they went and played on the swing set.
Yes.
And that's when you heard them.
That's when I heard them. Right here in this area here. I plan on putting a pool up this year for the kids. You need level ground for a pool. That's what I was doing. I was leveling out the ground to set up the pool.
And this is the Thursday.
This is Thursday.
Right.
Friday, pool. That's what I was doing. I was leveling out the ground to set up the pool.
And this is the Thursday.
This is Thursday.
Right.
Friday, all the investigators, search and rescue and everything, right around here was where they found the only footprint.
This is where the boot.
This is where I was raking that night. That's where the boot print was found, in the mud where I was raking.
I thought there was 2 boot prints.
There was supposed to be a footprint found away up on the pipeline.
Right.
Malaya sent me the picture of it. That's all I know. There was a footprint found.
Okay.
But I'm telling you, the footprint was here. The only one that they can confirm that was Lily and Jack's was right here.
So it was child size.
Yes, a man, one of the investigators came in here and was measuring it all. Mm-hmm. I'm not here to lie. The reason why I wanted you guys to come here.
Well, that's her pattern right there, isn't it? She just gave herself away. You're not here to lie? That's exactly what you're here for. Why would you even bring that up if it wasn't even on your mind? No, she's lying. This is how she lies. We've come to learn this old nasty broad does nothing but fucking lie. She gives themselves away every time. And it's always their language, isn't it? You're not here to lie. You're here to lie. You've been lying, trying to get away with whatever you did to Jack and Lily and whatever your participation is in all of this. You're so adamant that you just being accessory to Daniel at this point means life imprisonment for you, honey. Now, I'm going to come down there to the courthouse and I'm going to bring signs. I'm going to sit out in front of the courthouse and I'm going to snipe you. I'm going to make sure that you get booked away for life. I'm going to do you a favor.
And do the interview here is to show you exactly where everything took place. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And to show people that this is what...
No, it's to lie. What's the point and what's the purpose? What's the point and purpose of you doing this, Janie?
What happened? All the stuff that people, all the rumors and accusations about us murdering the kids and burying them on the property, this place has been searched thoroughly. The well has been checked, the septic tank, all the barns were searched. My RV was searched 3 times. The trailer...
You know what cracks me up about that? Think about the suspicion level on old numbnuts, old Janie here. That's only a 32-foot trailer thereabouts. It's not that big of a place. Why would you be in there searching 3 times if you weren't a little concerned about some of its belongings? What sort of stuff that they brought out of there? What kind of forensics that they pulled? All kinds of Janie pubic hair from the drains.
Was searched. This whole place was searched. If they want to come back and search again, they're more than welcome.
Well, it's because you're such a great host. Jeez. Do you bring them out some snacks and some drinks? A little coffee? Did you chew the fat with them? No, you pulled attitude on them. You weren't thankful at all. How is it that this old bitch is crying like she could have fucking prevented something, but denies that the police were allowed to come in and search her place, that she's so angry and standoffish? You can't have it both ways. You should be thankful that people are there to aid in whatever emergency situation that you presented the world. But instead, you rammed it down people's throats and tried to make it look like you were the victim and were an uncooperative witness at this point in time. Not to mention Haley, who you attacked at the end of this nasty-ass fucking driveway of yours, bitch. And your catfish niece, Logan, her time's coming. Oh, welcome, salty suspects.
You've talked about drones flying over your property. You've talked about cars driving down the road and slowing down. What's that been like?
I'm scared to go out sometimes in my own property. I mostly stay around back here. And if I do go out front for anything, I usually have my head down because I don't want people to see who I am. That is me myself.
All of a sudden, that has something to do with the attention that this case is getting? See, if you're truly victimized, it wouldn't be like that at all. Oh, people are just taking this the wrong way. All of these rumors are giving me a complex, a social anxiety complex now. You're not a fucking hermit. You're not anything of what it is that you're claiming to be in front of this camera, honey baby. Let's just hold on a minute because my favorite part's coming right here.
It's not because I'm hiding from anybody. I don't like to be on camera. I don't like my picture taken.
In other words, hiding.
I'm just a quiet person that just wants to be left alone, and I mind my own business. I'm just a hermit.
Do you feel as if the finger has been pointed towards you and Daniel?
Yes, I do. Because I live on the property. Come on.
Do you think your son had anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily?
No, I don't believe Daniel had anything to do with the disappearance of Jack and Lily. Our heart don't lie, and my heart is telling me that my kid did not have nothing to do with this, and I had nothing to do with this.
Wrong, Janie. That's wrong, honey. I can tell. We can tell by the way that you're reacting. We didn't even plug you into the polygraph. We didn't even need any of that. We can tell that you're lying. What is it that you're hiding? What is it that you have done? Exactly. It's so difficult to imagine because there's two children involved. Runs with scissors, good day. She's just like Daniel, more worried about what people are saying. They don't talk about the kids, that's right. Unless it's to blame them. Carol, yeah, her heart doesn't lie. Her mouth does. She just heard the kids and heard Daniel yelling, but he's not with the kids and they're freaking gone. She was able to help but didn't. So what's up there, Granny? That's horrible. Well, what exactly did she help with? What did she search? What was she looking for when she was searching? Usually you have a plan in place. What the hell? At what point do you cease to search and come to the point that, look, my kids just aren't within my reach. I heard them not 5 minutes ago. So you're really fucked up when it comes to imagining this in your mind in the moment when you're trying to get a plan together and in practice and the way that you apply it, especially in front of the world and through the media. Disgusting how they hid those children's remains, and will not any of them give up the children for a proper burial. They're just selling freaking wristbands and keychains, Carol says. Bingo bango. That's a shout out to you, Kent, you fat prick. You stupid son of a bitch. Fuck off with that chomo behavior. She didn't help with jack squat, but she said she could have prevented this. I'd like to know how this and what this is. Yeah, I hear you, Carol. The thing that happened that you don't have anything to do with, Timu Trash. Oh, you give it to her. That's a good one, Timu Trash. She's not just covering for DM, but now implicating JM, her kids. Yeah, did you pick up on that? Her plural use there? Good catch. I didn't catch that. I was too busy, lost in her facial expressions. You look a little afraid, Janie. Is something on your mind? Something bothering you? Something feeling? Are you feeling a certain way? Is your subconscious feeling a little overloaded? If you had a heart, you would never let kids live like that in the first place, Miss K. That's right. Very good point. Why are you trying to, Janie, intimidate Haley Ferdinand after you attacked her at the end of the driveway for calling out the same things that we're calling out here right now. Your lover, Derwood. Boy, who's the loser there? Friends, we're going to wrap this up and come back at you again on New Year's Day. We have 2 hours left before midnight where I am here. Please enjoy the rest of your night safely. I'll leave you now with some G-Funk. I thought I was. Hold on. Having some audio issues here tonight. Why is it not coming down the pipe? Close it out and reopen it. This is my Janie soundboard. Have a fantastic New Year's Eve, y'all. Keep your head open out for some uploads.